Hello and welcome to Hospitality Hotdish, fresh from the oven. I am Kate Conroy, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships here at Hospitality Minnesota, which is a member-driven organization dedicated to educating, supporting, and advocating for Minnesota's hospitality industry. What you can expect from the Hot Dish are conversations with restaurants, hotels, resorts, campgrounds, and the allied members who support those businesses in the state of Minnesota. We release a new episode every other Thursday, so be on the lookout for those. Speaking of which, you can find the Hot Dish just about anywhere you can download a podcast. We even put them up on YouTube, so check us out. And don't forget to leave a 5-star review so that the algorithm gets us in front of other awesome people just like you. Special shout out to today's sponsor, Cafe and Bar L'Ursa. Overlooking Loring Park, this iconic restaurant is located in one of the most charming neighborhoods in Minneapolis. Known for a thoughtful, delicious menu and warm hospitality, the restaurant is an ideal setting for cozy date nights, engaging corporate dinners, and private celebrations of all shapes and sizes. With me today is Howard Anderson, Chief Operating Officer at Odyssey Resorts. Howard, say hi and let the audience hear your voice.
Good morning and hello. How is everybody?
We are doing just fine. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Sure thing. Happy to do it.
So, first question, right out the gate, hard hitting. What's your favorite hot dish?
You know, I've struggled with this one in the past, but I think I have to just go with the traditional hamburger. But the key is the real crispy tater tots on the top, and I love the tater tot topped hot dish with hamburger and just a good soup and some veggies inside. So yeah, just
That
traditional.
sounds great. I've never had a hamburger hot dish before.
My mom grew up in Iowa, but we did have some Minnesota connections, and so that was sort of the one I grew up with, and so it holds a little bit. I do love a good company potatoes though, so that cheesy potato side dish in case I can't have a hot dish.
Who doesn't love cheesy potatoes? My God.
Right.
But hamburger and tater tot sounds really good. You're
Very good.
you're getting me ready for lunch here.
Right. Fantastic.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, Howard, in terms of hospitality, what is your why?
That's quite a switch from hot dish to my why in hospitality. Uh, you know, uh, it's evolved over time. I can tell you that. First and foremost, my first job in the industry was as a busboy at the top of the Red Lion in Omaha, Nebraska, at their fancy hotel restaurant called Maxine's at the top of the Red Lion in downtown Omaha, and I was able to wear just the most uncomfortable brown polyester tuxedo possible, being a busboy.
Wow.
Um, but it was super fun. I really wanted to be a bellman, but I had no experience. So they
Yeah,
wanted nothing to do with me. So I cut my teeth in the restaurant, and my folks, uh, uh, my grandparents owned a restaurant back in the '60s and early '70s down in Huxley, Iowa, a restaurant called the Fjord. It was sort of a Norwegian or Scandinavian smorgasbord restaurant.
ooh, yum.
And over the course of my career, after starting in restaurants, I went into the hotel business primarily because of the relationships that you can create with customers, and it's impacting the guests that first brought me into the business. Um, that evolved over time, and I think my why these days is really creating opportunities and success stories for not only our guests but our team members too. And so as you sort of get into these leadership roles, whether it's a general manager of a hotel or in my particular case, kind of this multi-property operator approach to things where I had multiple properties over multiple states, including most of them in Minnesota over my career, you start to realize that part of the reason why you're doing everything you're doing is that you impact the employees and their families.
Right.
And so making sure that we make good decisions to generate the right types of revenue uh, helps, you know, fill people's bank accounts at home. And to me, that's my why is now it's sort of this combination of fulfilling guests' expectations, but doing more for our employees so that we create a positive environment for them, somewhere where they like to stay working, putting in their best effort, and get fairly compensated, and they can enjoy their home life with food on the table and a good home, and then also enjoy some additional experiences on their own, be able to go take a vacation every once in a while. And I think that's, you know, impacting individuals just overall. I think that's sort of been my why.
That's a fantastic answer. I want to ask you to tell us a little bit about Odyssey and the
Sure.
different properties that are in Minnesota, because I understand that there's a pretty good variety.
Yeah, just over my shoulder, we have a few photos of a few, but certainly people can go to odysseyresorts.com and take a peek. But we have 9 resorts in Minnesota. We're the largest total, owner and operator of independent resorts in Minnesota. We have properties that have been with the company for quite some time. This company was started in the 80s. And so, we have Beacon Point in Duluth. It's right on the water, just gorgeous views of Lake Superior. We have 8 resorts up the shore, starting at Beacon Point. Uh, Larsemont Cottages, which was recently named #1 resort for families by Travel and Leisure magazine readers. Um, just a fantastic, really wonderful resort. When you walk in, the smell of the fireplace, just it gives you this warm, cozy feeling, and you're right on Lake Superior. Just right next to it, a very small sister property, uh, Breezy Point Cabins on Lake Superior, 12 cabins, cute as can be, little red cabins, just right next to it. The cliff edge of Lake Superior. It's wonderful. Grand Superior Lodge up the shore, #1 North Shore destination resort for weddings. We do 60, 70 weddings a year at that location. It's incredible. Um, we have up near Lutzen cabins, or up near Lutzen, we have the Sea Villas and our Lutzen Caribou Highlands Resort. Um, and then across the street, we have a cute little hotel called the Mountain Inn. And then further up the shore, all the way to Grand Marais, almost to Canada, we have East Bay Suites, which looks out onto one of the bays up in Grand Marais, right across the street from World's Best Donuts, which are fantastic, by the way. And
That's
then just
awesome.
recently, we've been running Rutgers Resort, owned and operated by Odyssey Blackburn Investments, and so that's really cool, because that property was owned by the Rucker family, and it's almost 125 years old. So it's unbelievable having an opportunity to have a hand in the operation of that. Just a fantastic, cute resort in Deerwood, central Minnesota, about 2 hours north west of the Twin Cities. So really interesting to be able to do that. It has a marina, golf course, and some really great food inside Ruby's, which is this 100-year-old cabin-like wood, Yellowstone National Park-like feeling, and also that fireplace smell that's incredibly unique, especially when you mix it in with a good, pine tree sap smell coming off of a lake in the morning. It's just fantastic.
Oh my gosh. So, first of all, I neglected to ask this before, but I really hope that there are pictures of you in that brown tuxedo. I'm going to need to see proof.
Nope. I don't
Oh,
think so.
come on.
I know it was the era of Polaroids, so I'm fairly confident they're gone.
You lucky devil.
I know,
Um,
right?
Second, Breezy Point got a shout out on this show a couple of episodes ago. I can't remember who it was, but later on in this episode, I'm going to ask you what your favorite Minnesota escape is, and the answer that that person gave was Breezy Point, which is pretty cool.
There you go.
And the last thing I was going to say is I actually was taken on vacation with a friend's family. Remember, like, I don't know if all families did this. Mine did not, but some families, when you got to be old enough, you got to bring a friend on vacation so that the parents could go do their thing and we could do our thing. I was taken on vacation to Rutgers and it was amazing. That fireplace, that lodge, just the smell, it just smells like camp. It smells like the woods. There's
It is.
nothing like it on earth. There is no candle. You know how sometimes you can buy a candle and it says, campfire or the lodge or whatever up north? No, there's no candle that can replicate that that aroma, that smell. It's amazing.
Absolutely. No, you know what? And that's the beauty of, and maybe we'll come back to this on my favorite places to visit, but you know, you can't replicate that early morning lakeside
Right?
smell with pine trees and pine
Yes.
cones and other little lake breeze, and then mix that in with that early morning fireplace,
Oh,
real wood smoke
100%.
smell, and then 125 years of just it absorbing it. It's pretty darn
Yes.
unique. Yeah.
It's so unique and it's so beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
so here's a question that I have not officially added to the roster. Are you a
Uh-oh.
sunrise or a bonfire person?
uh, yeah, I'm not sure I can pick. I'll go bonfire. I'm bonfire. I don't mind
There-
finishing my day with a sweatshirt, but just
yeah.
walk back into your cabin and you're like, you smell like that fire
Yes.
kind of smoke. I don't mind that.
I don't
Yeah,
either. There's
yeah, but
something to be said
a
for
good sunrise. I'll tell you what, if you catch some, I've seen some good ones, and they're pretty unique. Yeah, I mean, and sunsets are wonderful, but sunrises are great too.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
All right, I've thrown enough at you. I think we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and dig a little deeper.
sounds great.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Going to keep going with my good friend Howard, Odyssey Resorts. Howard, what is your favorite Minnesota escape? And I know that that's a Sophie's Choice kind of question for you because you've got a lot to choose from.
Yeah, yeah. I've been traveling primarily for business, uh, all over the state of Minnesota for the last almost 30 years. So I've been lucky enough, literally, to see nearly every corner of the state, from Worthington to Winona, um, uh, up all the way to Baudette, up on the northern border of Canada, Lake of the Woods. Um, I've spent a ton of time up and down the North Shore of Lake Superior. Um, Usually, most of my career just up to about Silver Bay or Two Harbors, but later in the last few years, a little further north, and certainly the last year all the way up to Grand Marais. So I've seen a variety of the lakes region in the central part of Minnesota. As we were talking about that Rutgers experience, and there's a handful of really fun resorts right in that region to choose from that have opportunities there. But I'll tell you what, the North Shore. I was trying to explain this to our marketing team just recently. I'm like, and we touched on it just a little bit ago about the fireplace smell,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure what's more impressive in Minnesota than an incredibly calm Lake Superior that is like glass
Yeah.
that I've seen. It's unbelievable how calming that is when you see it. It's and it's different than just a standard lake because it's so massively large. And usually it's early in the morning, that sunrise kind of experience, which is fantastic to see coming up over Lake Superior because it's just such a large body of water and it's amazing. Or that November gale level experience that is, it shows the power. And I'm not sure which one, that roar, and it's different than an ocean roar. It is that Lake Superior roar with the wind and maybe some spitting rain or a little snowflake in the air or whatever. That roar is amazing, and it smells different, and it just feels like it's just pounding into the shoreline, and the waves just are, they're incredible. So those two experiences, I'm not sure which one is my favorite. I will say this: the one thing I've not done yet that is on the old Minnesota bucket list is a canoe trip through the Boundary Waters with a couple
Ooh.
of portages. I have to get to that one at some point, but it just hasn't. I just haven't had the stars align to be able to do that and maybe see the Northern Lights, which over the course of the next 2 years, supposed to have a pretty darn good chance at seeing.
I've never seen the Northern Lights really well. Like I was in Iceland a few months ago and I saw them, but like it was almost like they weren't even there. Like you had to really know what you were looking
Yeah,
for, and then you had to put your camera on night mode, and through the lens of your camera, you could really see it. But with the naked eye, you were like, "Oh, that weird light spot, I guess."
sure.
I would
I've only
love to
Yeah,
really see them here.
yeah. No, I've only seen, like you were talking about, kind of a hint of them
Yeah.
before. I'd love to experience that up in the Boundary Waters if all the stars align and clear skies and the right solar uh, issue, I guess, that
Yeah.
causes those. So anyway,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
So you're a canoeer then. You like
more kayaker. So
kayaker.
I like kayaking, but yeah, less of a canoe. Canoes are a little too tippy for me, so
Oh,
I'd have to go with a kayak.
okay. So you're the kind of person who would like put a few days worth of stuff on your back and a tent and just
I no, not at all. That's why it's not made the it's on the bucket list, but I've
got
not
it.
done. I'll go out and kayak for an hour, but
Okay.
no, yeah.
I was going to be really
I'll need like
impressed.
a llama to go with me to carry all my stuff.
Me
It's
too. I'm
I
not that
yeah,
person. I was
or
going to be
maybe
so
my son
impressed.
who's a little stronger and younger.
I like that. I like that. All right. All right. We got to move on. Howard,
Okay,
what keeps you up at night?
so uh, you know, uh, there's a lot that could keep me up at night. A lot more that could keep me up at night. Things that I don't have control over, right? Um,
Yeah.
the impact of climate change on our resorts, I think is a real deal. Um, as demonstrated by last year, where we were, the North Shore was just dumped on with
Little.
snow, just and the whole state of Minnesota, right? So,
Yeah.
and then we go to that opposite extreme where we have lakes that aren't even iced up
Yeah.
yet, and we're almost to early. Well, it's 1/3 the way through January practically, and we're supposed
Yep.
to get that. At this point, I know I'm not sure exactly when this episode airs, but hopefully we'll have had a great ice season after that. And but at the moment, it's we're struggling with real snow levels. Lutzen received a few inches of snow, but they've been making snow, thankfully, and that drives a lot of winter business, ice fishing, snowmobiling. It's all been impacted this year, and in years past, the last couple of years, the Canadian wildfires, all the smoke
Yeah.
from but I don't have as much control over that as I wish I could, maybe. So the
Yep.
things that I have control over, uh, it's a double-edged sword. Our company, Odyssey Resorts, has been, I'm not even sure if you know this one, but was named uh, as one of the top 200 employers in the state of Minnesota. And it's the top ranked hospitality company in Minnesota to work for.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, it is. It's
Congratulations.
fantastic, right?
Yeah.
It's living up to that expectation for our employees, I think, is
Sure.
what keeps me up at night, because I need to make sure that uh, that the decisions that our company makes positively impacts our employees as much as possible
Mhm.
and keeps it a good experience for them working for us. And I think in a changing world where healthcare expenses are going up, daily, inflationary impact on our employees make
Yep.
it difficult. Um, the changing guest expectations
Mhm.
um, that continually evolve and impact our business, and again, climate change, the impact on our occupancies based on guests' desires to come skiing and actually
Mhm.
see, real snow and those types of things. There's a lot involved with trying to keep ourselves relevant to our employees, um, and I think that's one that does keep me up at night. If there's one
That
thing,
makes sense. I like that. That's a good answer. And I think it's an answer that a lot of people are struggling with right now. Unemployment is historically low.
yeah,
And it's really hard to attain and then retain quality employees who are dedicated to the work and interested in helping. And, I feel like this industry is all about the heart.
yes,
So many people that I talk to, they're in it not for the money, but for what you've just described, because
right,
it makes them feel good, and the servant leadership attitude, and just making sure that everybody is taken care of, guests and employees both, which is
yeah,
so lovely. It's just
and
really great.
it's interesting that you say it's from the heart, because our baseline culture has been built around a book by Brandon Johnson called "Hospitality from the Heart" that teaches. Well, it's hard to go into on a quick podcast, but basically, it's all about um, hospitality. It gives us a real good sense of what we need to get done, whether it's with humility or empathy, and there's a level of execution and commitment to really fulfilling what expectations both the employee as well, the team member as well as the guest has for their experience, and going above and beyond is um, is natural for a lot of hospitality folks. It really is. You For a lot of the people that work for our company as well as others in the hospitality business, you don't really have to teach them hospitality. It's sort of innate in inside. But being able to speak to it with a common vocabulary and explanations and awareness, that hospitality from the heart. Chuck Payton uh, at Odyssey, he's been here for over 10 years. Really helped cement that as a cultural cornerstone, and we've been living it for 10 years, 11 years now, and it goes from the whole breadth of our company. It really is something that we lean into, and so highly recommend the book Hospitality from the Heart. Uh, it 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 uh, it speaks to what a lot of us in hospitality already live.
I definitely will check that book out. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Anything that you'd like to promote, or any last thoughts?
No, all high tide rises all boats. Go on vacation, hit the North Shore, hit the Central Lakes, go north, go south, spend your vacation days. They
Yeah,
can't they can't go unused. So
that's right.
you can do a little bit of work while you're on vacation. That bleisure, that blurry line between spending some time with your family and making memories. There's a lot of great places to do that, whether it's restaurants or a resort or a hotel or whatever the experience is. Just spend those vacation days and encourage others, especially outside of Minnesota, to show up and see what Minnesota has to offer.
It's a great message to lead on, or to leave on. It is
Happy
leading
to
as
do.
well, though, I guess. Yeah, I like it.
Sure
Nobody
thing.
ever, I think it was Barbara Bush who said, nobody puts on their tombstone, I wish I had worked more.
Right.
Right?
Right. It
Like,
is a necessary, requirement in order to live. But yes, yeah, just spend those vacation days as best you possibly can.
agree. I think that's fantastic advice. All right, that is the show. One last shout out to our sponsor, Cafe and Bar L'Ersat, the perfect spot for a delightful dinner and elevated hospitality, no matter the night, no matter the occasion. Howard Anderson, the Chief Operating Officer at Odyssey Resorts, thank you so much for joining me. And to all of you out there listening, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.